Crypto markets are about to experience a biblical flood of normie attention, the type of run that has never been seen before, the absolute super cycle. If you want to survive this flood, you need to grab a flotation device instantly, and you need to wrap yourself in as much bubble wrap as possible, because if you're not ready yet, winds are about to hit 100 miles an hour and you have no evacuation plans. This is it. You need to hop on the Bitcoin and crypto life raft if you want to save yourself. And so the question today that we'll be answering is, how should we do this in a world where Trump is appointing people who want to devalue the dollar, pump the ever-loving shit out of the markets, and send our beloved coins to the heavens? The question remains, how should you be navigating this insane world called crypto? And so today I'm going to be updating you on my own portfolio and how I'm doing this. And so if you're excited, destroy that like button and let's jump in. First off, I know how this part of the cycle goes. You're probably new to the channel or new to crypto in general if you're watching this. If that perchance is you, then you absolutely need to do some research before watching this channel, because this video right here at the bottom, the ultimate beginner's guide, the I'm selling everything and 96% will lose, those videos are fundamental knowledge, fundamental warnings about the insane risks and the potential rewards that are here in crypto land. You need to be aware that this is not a get rich quick scheme. This is a new industry that benefits from dollar devaluation, from inflation, from money printing, from public policy, from regulation, from general degeneracy and attention flow. There are so many factors here, but it's important to realize that any coin in this industry could actually go to zero. You could lose all your money, and you need to assume the responsibility for any of the decisions you make, because I'm doing my best to predict the market, but you are no longer early. We are getting into the late stage of the game here. The early stuff was back in 2023 when I was making videos saying, hey, we just started a new market. It's time to get in. You pretty much can't lose if you buy because it's so low. Now we're approaching the parabolic part of the market, and it might be one of those final opportunities to get in before things truly fly off the chain, but it is not early. It is very much so the mid game, and you need to appreciate that other people have bought in way before you. I've bought in way before you, and I'm going to be looking to sell stuff throughout 2025. I'm not selling stuff yet, but I will be. So understand that that's the nature of where you're joining. It doesn't mean that you can't make money, but you need to be prepared for your realistic outcomes, realistic expectations, and of course, understanding the very significant risk with investing in crypto. Now, I know what y'all are thinking, shut the hell up, Elio, and show me the tickers. All right, we'll get to the good stuff, but I knew from last cycle, I wish I had spent more time really warning people at the beginning of these videos at the start of the bull run last time, because there were so many new people that needed this hand holding. So please go watch the introductory videos that I've created. They are your guide. They will help you avoid big mistakes. And with that said, let's jump into the good stuff. Now, first and foremost, some context here. Scott Bessent is the new Treasury Secretary in favor of a weaker dollar, lower oil prices to drive US and global growth. That is all you need to know. It will drive financial conditions. TLDR, Scott is good for your bags. I've known him for over a decade and he gets it. Now we're seeing actually the post-election appointments by Trump, which are going to signal how policy will actually get shaped. We know about the talk on the campaign trail, but people are policy, and the people he puts in these positions send a strong signal about how things will actually shake out. And bear in mind, a lot of the stuff pertaining to crypto and to Bitcoin is at the national federal level. So the change in leadership from a Democratic administration which hated crypto to now a Republican administration which loves crypto, Trump has called himself the first crypto president, and I believe that to be true. TLDR, bullish as all ever-loving Now take a look at this chart, because this chart is called the others chart. This chart essentially is all of the coins that are not in the top 10 market cap, essentially the lower cap altcoins. This is not your Bitcoin, not your Ethereum, not your Solana. This is the lower stuff, the real dirty, freaky, nasty altcoins. Yeah, this is your signal that others, as it's starting to break out, is starting to actually get some love. And you can see this particular trend line, this top was formed on the 8th of November, 2021, and it's been in a downtrend ever since, well, yesterday. And so as you look at how this stuff works, as others broke out last time, it did about a 14x when it did break out of its consolidation last cycle. So even if it just makes a few x's, not even a 14x, not even a 10x, but let's just say it makes like a 4x, right? We need to go all the way to 1.3 trillion for it to reach a 4x on its current market cap. That's a 300% gain. Even if history repeats with lower percentage gains, and I'm not particularly convinced that there will be lower percentage gains, because the actual narrative narrative for this cycle is that this is the first cycle where we have a friendly government, the first cycle where crypto builders in the United States can know that they are building on terra firma, on firm ground with real rules that they can follow without stressing that some regulatory body is just going to make up a new rule and say that they broke it 4 years ago. That's what's been going on in crypto. It's been a campaign of terror by the SEC and the current administration, and that's all over. That is done with. We now have the resignation of Gary Gensler. We know whoever replaces him will be crypto friendly, and for the first time, not only builders, but investors can know that their gigantic investments are made in things that aren't just going to go poof due to a change in heart by the regulators. And that, my friends, has kept out probably the biggest source of money and investment in this industry we've ever seen, which is why overnight you saw the explosion in Bitcoin price as soon as just the first polls that Trump was going to win this election started rolling in. That is the situation at hand. And to me, it means that the gains we saw last cycle or the cycle before that might not even be all that relevant, because for the first time, we will have a friendly and hospitable regulatory climate in the biggest economy in the world. Not to mention the US Strategic Reserve, the US literally buying Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, while the Federal Reserve is actually lowering interest rates. They will drive interest rates to zero. They will stimulate the economy, and it will be probably one of the loosest and craziest moments in financial history. To me, the stimulus by the government is a significantly lower part of this. It's the deregulation and knowing that you can do what you want as a business and not get slammed by the government. That is going to set off a sonic boom of economic growth. And it won't just be in crypto. It'll be in things like AI, robotics, different areas that have felt very uncomfortable due to the government reaching in and trying to control everything, slowing it down to a snail's pace. All of those things are going to accelerate. The future is going to accelerate dramatically in the next 4 years. And this is the beginning of that. This is a way to front run that. And again, this is my belief, and this is why I'm so bullish on crypto as the future of money and capital markets. And it's not just talk here, because Trump has already started the process of electing a crypto advisory council that will be setting up this Bitcoin strategic reserve. It'll sit under the National Economic Council, which apparently is a part of the White House. So he's already showing how he's going to do it. And this, my friends, is where we start to see the proof in the pudding. This is where it goes from the idea and a campaign promise to a reality. And it's clear that he is trying to do everything he said he was going to do. At least anything related to crypto, I can't think of anything that I don't see real progress towards right now, which the markets are going to absolutely love. And of course, now you're starting to see ETF filings for Solana. We can imagine that this will be only the first of many, which could explain why we've seen such massive pumps out of things like Stellar, Tezos, Hedera, Sandbox, Decentraland, Polkadot, these boomer dino old L1s. Well, they might be in line for this whole ETF situation. XRP, Cardano, we can imagine that if Solana gets one, well, that really opens the door. It's not just Bitcoin. It's not just ETH. It's not just Solana. It'll be many coins. Many assets will make their way to literally the stock market, where the biggest investors can just absolutely bazooka cannon money in. And that will have a massive wealth effect, not just for the stock investors, but for everyone. Those bags will get rotated throughout the ecosystem. So you can understand this is part of a big trend, a massive trend. I see this as the dot-com moment of crypto, where we finally have that $7 to $10 trillion market cap, where there's absolutely insane pumps, unbridled belief and excitement in the industry. And I believe that's going to happen later on in 2025. So that's why I believe getting in now into good stuff, it's just a no-brainer. And I've added some coins to my portfolio that fit into this narrative. Again, Adam Back believes that if the Bitcoin strategic reserve happens, prepare for seven-figure Bitcoin. Seven-figure Bitcoin would be an astronomical amount of capital flowing into crypto. That would mean, I think, 20 trillion or something thereabout in value just in Bitcoin alone. I don't even want to know what my altcoins would be worth. They would just be infinity wealth into these altcoins if that happens. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And finally, I wanted to show you this, which is the views chart for my last video. And you can see here, normally it tends to like flatten out here after it has this curve. It was flattening out around 77. It probably would have made its way slowly up to 100,000, but then boom, it inflects up over the last few days and it's hit 160,000. So you can see here, there is a new influx of people searching for crypto, searching for Bitcoin, and that is causing a massive spike in views. My friends, the normies, the retailers, the new people are here. It might be you. This is something that we've been waiting for a long time, and we know that this is when the party truly starts to kick off and get crazy. So without further ado, if you're excited to see how I'm breaking down my portfolio, let's dive in and I can break down what I'm looking at and why I am buying what I'm buying. Now, mind you, my actual portfolio looks slightly different than this. I made a commitment at the beginning of this cycle because of the size of my audience. I didn't want there to be a perception that I was constantly selling after videos or anything like that. I actually made a commitment to not sell any of my positions off until the entire cycle. So all of the coins I picked throughout 2023 and 2024, I have been actually holding those since I first acquired them without any major sales. One, I'm trying to enjoy as much long-term capital gains as I can. But two, I think it really aligns myself with the audience in a very, very significant way, because if the coins actually end up crashing and not doing well, well, then I'm in the boat with the audience and I haven't profited when the audience has not profited. Again, I am not perfect. Some of the coins I've picked have done amazing, have gone up 20, 30, 40x. Some of the coins I've picked have done horrible, have gone down 90% or more. And some of the teams have even given up. I'm not an oracle, but I'm trying to do this in a way where at least you guys know that I'm doing my best and I'm in the boat with you. And I think that that's the fair way to do it. And if you enjoy that, smash that like button and let's get to the coins. All right, from the top here. First, I'm going to start off with Bitcoin. What you want in an ideal portfolio is something I call the barbell, where on one side of the barbell, you have your high conviction bets. Those are things that are definitely going to be around in several years from now. And even though everything in crypto will go through a bear market, you know that these coins will most likely come back and regain their prior highs because that's what they've done several times before. Again, history is not a guarantee of the future, but it's a good indication. So with that said, my base portfolio with my highest conviction bets is set up like this: Bitcoin at 20%, Ethereum at 10%, Solana at 20%, and Coinbase stock at 10%, as well as MicroStrategy at 5%. So that together is about 65% of my total portfolio. Now, depending on where you are and what your appetite for risk is, your portfolio might have more of those coins or less. If you just want to be super passive, buy into crypto, and you're okay with a few X's, maybe a 2X, a 3X, a 4X on your portfolio, you're not eager to like make it this cycle and you don't need to turn up that risk meter, you already have a decent amount of money, then just sticking in these blue chips is a great way to enjoy crypto. You can have something to root for. You can be excited when the market moves, and you'll probably do fabulously this cycle. That is the safest way to do this. And in my opinion, Solana, Ethereum, and Bitcoin will be here on the next cycle and probably many cycles from now. Who knows exactly what they'll be worth or whether they'll still be category leaders, but we know they're not just going to go away. And that, my friends, is actually saying a lot in crypto because most stuff does fail. The vast majority, 99% of stuff fails in crypto. So that's why you have to understand not only when you're buying stuff, but when you should sell stuff, because if you don't have an exit strategy, again, watch my exit strategy videos, you will get cooked. So you have to have an exit strategy, you have to know your risk, and you have to know your size allocations. Again, my size allocations for my base portfolio is over 65%. That's what I recommend, because then at the very least, if this does 3x, you've made money, even if everything else you buy goes to zero. Even if every one of these coins that I pick is absolutely terrible and goes to zero and loses all of its value, you will still have made money if this core portfolio even does a 2x. So that's how you can keep your sanity while investing in crypto, is to keep most of your stuff in high conviction holds. Now, the next line item here is actually a crypto stock. I mentioned this one a while ago. It's called DeFi Technologies. And this one is actually quite cool. They bridge sort of TradFi with digital assets, and they have a huge amount of on-chain revenue. Specifically, they have a lot of stuff going on Solana. So they have a F ton of real revenue on chain. They've been crushing it, and I believe that they'll be in price discovery at some point this cycle. They're a revenue beast. And again, if you're looking for more stock market exposure, this would be a way to do that. But now let's get to the phenomenon we saw over the last few days, which is that we've been seeing big layer one blockchains like Stellar Lumens. I haven't seen this thing pump in what it feels like forever. Tezos, Hedera, a Sandbox, Decentraland, Metaverse stuff from last cycle that no one has really been talking about. We know Sandbox doesn't even have many users. So it's just interesting to see these sort of dinosauric coins start to pump. And it shows that these sort of mainstream big majors will actually start to have their moment in the sun. Now, traditionally, the way the crypto liquidity cycle has worked is money flows into Bitcoin, then it flows into Ethereum, then it flows into major alts, then mid caps, low caps, and so on. And usually like memes are usually at the end. Memes have been behaving differently this cycle. We'll talk a little bit about that. The point is that now we're starting to see that, which is the major altcoins, whether you like them, whether you hate them, whether you think they're good or bad, are starting to really catch bids. And so I think that it makes more sense to start covering them here, as a lot of them are still quite low on the charts compared to where they could be. They are a lower risk reward setup than some of the other stuff I have in the bucket, which makes them a good counterbalance because they won't offer as much parabolic upside, but they will offer less downside. The first one on the list is one that we actually covered at the beginning of the cycle, and that is Avalanche. Now, Avalanche Avalanche, as you can see here, went all the way up last cycle to about 130 bucks, came down to a low of about 10 bucks. I actually scooped a lot here at 10 bucks and I've just been sitting on it. It hasn't really done that much compared to what I really thought it would do. And one of the things I want to point out here is that there's some muscle memory in the charts. The normies are flocking back into Mana and Decentraland and Sandbox and these things that had big moments in 2021. And one of the biggest coins of 2021 was Avalanche. Avalanche is also the home of Off the Grid and some of the biggest crypto gaming franchises that I expect to go super mainstream, or at least I hope they go super mainstream over the course of the next year. I believe that Avalanche is one of the best layer ones as far as technology. They have this brand new version of Avalanche that they're putting out where there's all these subnets, these layer one chains that interoperate. Very, very cool tech. It's sort of a brand new coat of paint on Avalanche, as well as they're in the gaming narrative that I think will catch absolute fire later on in the cycle. If you guys are new on the channel, I'm a huge believer that crypto gaming is going to go mainstream and be the consumer app of crypto. That's pretty much the core fundamental thesis of the channel, along with AI and memes. Gaming, AI, and memes have been the sort of three drivers of my investment thesis this cycle. So for a lot of reasons, including the chart itself, we can see that AVAX is still down 70% from its highs. I mean, it has been brutalized over the last cycle and it has still a long way to go, about a 3x to catch back up just to where it was at the peak of the last cycle. And then we can hope and expect that if there's way more liquidity in the market, that it would do some X's over that. So seeing it make a 3x to get back to its all-time highs, not crazy at all. Maybe another 2 or 3x over that. You know, a 6 to 10x out of AVAX here at 39 bucks. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. I think it's got some good R&R. And again, your lowest point here was about 10 bucks. So if it comes down at the worst case, I think it would come down from, 40 bucks to 10 bucks. Obviously, still a stinging loss, but I think it's less than you'll see in other altcoins, which will go down 99%. So AVAX is the first layer one chain. If you remember, the three big coins from last cycle were Solana, Luna, AVAX, and this was popularized by Three Arrows Capital Su Zhu. And he used to say Solunavax, SOLUNAVAX. He used to make them into one big word. And we know Solana has been the absolute rock star performer, which again, I was vocal about it being a rock star performer earlier on. At the absolute stone bottom of Solana, I was screaming that it was going to be a rock star because people were not expecting it to rally after the FTX collapse. We know that Luna went bust and effectively had a spectacular collapse. So that leaves us one leg of the tripod that hasn't really performed yet. I think there's a lot of logic behind AVAX having a phenomenal next cycle. Now, before we go any further, if you're new to crypto or you're returning to crypto, I want to make sure that you're using a VPN. Now, a VPN is one of the cheapest and easiest products in the entire world to protect your identity as you're going through Cryptoville. The reality of the blockchain is that it's decentralized and anonymous. The crypto websites you use to browse information about crypto, CoinMarketCap, Coinbase, Uniswap, you name it, those are centralized front ends, which could have data leakage. Your information could become public, and it's so easy to stop that by just using a VPN. I don't care what VPN you use. My favorite is Nord, and they are the sponsor of the channel. So I want to thank them for that. They're having a massive Black Friday deal, and you can get an even more juicy discount by signing up with the link in the description. They also have some crazy extra features here, malware protection, which will block malware before it even becomes a threat and downloads. You have remote file access and a dark web monitor to essentially send you alerts if your information is leaked on the dark web. Most importantly, this is like the seatbelt you wear in the car. It's an easy way to protect yourself. If you don't do it, you're not doing a simple, easy step that costs $2 a month. And as I've said many times before, there are a lot of mistakes you can make in crypto, but not using a VPN is not one. Use any VPN. I implore you, protect your ID, protect your personal data. I personally like NordVPN. I use it myself. You can see it's active here at the bottom of the screen. And the best part is they have a money back guarantee. If you don't like Nord for whatever reason, you don't feel like the speeds are fast enough, I personally have never had a problem. You can get your money back within 30 days, no questions asked. Again, I was the victim of a hack a few years ago, and I believe that if I had been using Nord more religiously, I could have stopped some of the data leakage that led to that. As always, you'll be forgiven for almost any mistake here in crypto, but not using a VPN, it's too silly, it's too dumb of a mistake. You have to use one, and it only costs a few bucks. So sign up with the link below, supports the channel, and I appreciate it. Okay, now on to my next pick, which is Phantom. Now, once again, the Phantom chart is fantastic. It was pretty much bottomed out. It's been hovering around these lows. It got as low as 18-20 cents here, but it popped up recently to $1 and it's sitting, below $1 here. But if you look here, it's been on a nice little trend rise, but it's still got so much to go to get back up to its highs, which was about $3.20 here. So you still have an easy 4x out of Phantom. But if you look here, the FDV is $2.7 billion. Even AVAX's FDV is $27 billion, right? right? So you have Phantom at 1/10 of the FDV of AVAX. And there's also some new narrative cooking for Phantom. I actually got Grok here to put in some work because Grok is really good with this. But if you see here, there have been some major upgrades to Phantom, and there's a whole new version coming, which is this Sonic upgrade, where there will actually be a massive transaction per second, but there's also going to be a token migration where you can swap existing FTM tokens to Sonic tokens at 1-to-1, and they're going to be dropping 200 million S tokens to incentivize early adoption. I can see the DeFi stuff going absolutely bananas here, probably a lot of insane yield here, and I'm already seeing a lot of buzz about it. So I could absolutely see Phantom doing some amazing price growth over this cycle and being a standout L1. It is a top pick for me as far as a more mainstream, bigger, major altcoin that is currently in vogue, and I could see being a standout following in the footsteps of the star player Solana. Finally, my last layer 1 pick is going to be Near. Once again, Near, pretty decent chart here. You can see it wants to move up to its prior resistance at $8, but its top was at about $20, a little over 20. I'm sure it wicked higher than that. So it's about a 3x to its prior highs. FDV is 8.6. But what I really like about Near is they went full pivot into the AI ecosystem. There's actually even a photo of the founder of Near having an onstage moment with Jensen Huang, the founder of NVIDIA, the biggest entrepreneur in the world right now. And yeah, essentially there's a full pivot into AI and machine learning applications, private secure AI agents on the chain, decentralized AI marketplaces. Overall, the Near blockchain is essentially gearing up to ride the AI narrative. AI is the biggest buzzword, the biggest business narrative of this entire business cycle. It has a ton of mind share along with memes. I believe that gaming has been a laggard, but will catch up once some games start to catch. I believe those are the 3 core categories, but AI is undeniable. And Near is kind of the big AI coin, the big AI blockchain that hasn't really pumped super hard. I'll tell you about the stuff that has pumped super hard. It's obviously higher risk, but I think Near perfectly fits into a portfolio that's looking to take advantage of this major coin rally and have some exposure to some of those bigger altcoins that have a lower R&R profile to some of the mid cap and low cap gems that I tend to focus on the channel. AVAX is kind of a gaming chain, Near is an AI chain, and Phantom has just a lot of retooling going on and an incredible market cap, making it a good L1 pick. Again, these aren't the only ones that could do well. If you want to find your own, go ahead, do your own research. I encourage you to do your own research with absolutely every single one of these, but I think these are worth taking a look at. Both the technicals and the fundamentals line up for all 3 of these, and I like these for the next phase of the market. Next, let's get into the AI category. Now, of course, the AI-specific coins are some of the most buzzy, some of the most talked about coins in the market. And the first one, the biggest one, is going to be BitTensor or Tau. Now, we've been talking about this one for literally what feels like forever, and yes, it has gone on an incredible run. But what we need to factor in is that Tau, BitTensor, could get this massive AI hype train if people start seeing AI crypto as the real future of these 2 merging technologies. So Tau kind of occupies that category leader spot. And I'm very big on the potential, not the guarantee, but the potential for category leaders like Tau to end up soaking up what I call a power law of mindshare. So of all the mindshare, if 90% of it is in something like Tau, then we don't know how high those numbers could get, how high the price for something like Tau could eventually get. And I'm not saying and guaranteeing that it goes on this omega pump, but the category leader coins are ones that you really want to take seriously because those ones could soak up so much mind share and end up getting massive late stage pumps. So if you want raw AI coinage, Tau BitTensor is kind of the indication for the hype in that narrative. Next, we have AOZ and Destra. As I mentioned on a few prior episodes, I am consulting and advising for these ones. Destra has just simply one of the best charts in the game here. It was a fair launch coin, which I also love. And I think that that is going to be a huge factor here as to some of the biggest gainers, where you see the market cap and the FDV are almost identical, meaning all the coins are pretty much in circulation. And it did have a massive moment here where it ran up to about 46 cents and it cooled all the way down here to under 10 cents. And now it's almost back up, some massive cup forming. And so hopefully we can see this one with massive pumpage in the future. Now, the reality of something like Destra is they're offering a ton of products for AI builders. And in general, their tokenomics have been super friendly to the community. So I think it's being in the right narrative for Destra, as well as offering a variety of services, but also having incredible tokenomics. Those 3 together, I think, make good AI projects. But I will say with all projects, it's very unclear what the winner of AI meets crypto will be. In fact, we don't even know what the winner of normal AI will look like. This is all an emergent story. So I treat each trade in the AI sector like a bet, kind of like I would bet on a meme coin, because essentially we don't really know what it should be valued at, what the real comps are. It's totally untethered from reality in a lot of senses, which makes them great things to bet on. But it also makes them extremely volatile assets. And we've already seen some teams that took advantage of this hype and didn't deliver on their promises. Just know, as cool and as exciting as the AI niche is, there's no guarantee that this will deliver insane profits. And you want to keep your positions small enough in each bet that if a team doesn't deliver, or if the hype moves on, or for some reason this AI team gets it wrong, losing out on that position won't destroy your portfolio. So keep your positions sized small when we're talking about mid-cap gems like Destra or the other things that I'll mention. Okay, the next one we're going to talk about is Akash. Now, I've actually, if you've seen my channel, I've been talking about Akash here for almost 4 years, over 4 years. We've talked about it as low as 20 cents here in the bear market. And actually, Elio Trades runs a validator on Akash. If you want to stake to my validator, go ahead and stake to the validator. I'm a believer, a long-term believer in this project. I think it's going to go back and definitely hit its all-time highs of $7 and go far beyond. It's a fully functional compute marketplace. So with people who need compute power for their AI applications, they can go, it's like Airbnb for compute power. And there's a lot of these. We call them DePIN, decentralized physical infrastructure, like allowing for people to plug into a data center, but it's done in a decentralized way. That's what Akash is. It's one of the best ones on the market. And I think the value, even at 1.4 billion, there's room to grow in this narrative because DePIN and AI, it's essentially tapping directly into the NVIDIA narrative. That is the narrative that has been the biggest success story in mainstream business over the last 2-3 years. And mainstream NASDAQ investors are going to eat this shit up. They're going to love the DePIN narrative. And so Akash is my play in the DePIN narrative. There are several in the DePIN narrative. And like I said, you can see it on chain. I run a validator over there. I've been holding on chain for almost 4 years now. So you can see I've had a long-term commitment to this project. I don't just hurry in and out of these decisions. And when I decide to hold something that I like, I hold it for a very long duration. So I have no plans to sell this until we're well into 2025. Next, let's get into a blended category, which is AI meets gaming. And one of my picks here, which I actually covered around here, is Neural. And I said, hey, look, this one's been on a massive pump, let it cool off and start to scoop it. And in this time, you could have scooped Neural for as little as sort of $1 here, a little over $1. And what Neural does is it's a decentralized marketplace for generating 3D objects for games. I know as someone who's running a game studio currently, 3D art is very expensive. It's very time intensive. And so having a solution to generate 3D objects with AI that are high quality and most importantly, quick and cheap, that is a massive lifesaver. The time is almost more expensive than the cost. So I think of this as an amazing thing that fits both narratives. Again, it's been on a massive pump. You can see from about July, it's up over 8x here or so. So maybe if this thing settles out, you can see it settle out. But again, what you're seeing here is fully diluted market where the coins are all in market. It's a fair launch AI project. It fits into both gaming and AI. So the narrative wise, it stacks up. Again, I hold an absolute ton of this and I will be holding it into the heat of the market, which I anticipate to start in about late Q1 of next year. But I think at 88 million, this one is still a very low cap, right? Low caps have a much higher risk to reward profile. So they can absolutely dump to zero, but they could also pump very hard. So if Neural goes to $1 billion, you're looking at a 12x or so from here. So that's already significantly higher multiples than you've seen just seeing Neural catch up to other coins on this list. Again, it's not a full blockchain. It's more of an application, but it's a cool one. And I really like that it has those elements of fair launch, tokens, and market. It's in the right narratives in gaming and AI. It kind of flip between those, whether it's gaming season or AI season, it can kind of tap into both of those. And obviously the chart isn't bottomed out here. It's at almost all-time highs, but it's a strong chart, right? So you can see here it's up on a high. If it comes back down and makes a big dip here, you'd want to see that. You wouldn't want to see it go below like $3.50. But as long as it stays above that sort of major last low, the chart is still intact and it still is bullish. So if it comes back down, even as low as like $4, that's still good time to be scooping Neural if you can. The next AI gaming trade is Prime. I haven't talked about this one in a while. When I covered it the first time at the very beginning of this market cycle, it was back in early 2023. It was around here at like $2 that I first covered it, and it flew as high as 27. So that would be about a 14x or 13x, somewhere thereabout. And then it kind of just got, overblown. It started to cool off. But as you can see here, it bottomed out around $5 and it's just been ranging between 5 and 10. And it's in still this accumulation range where you can see it's gone totally sideways and it's starting to inflect up. This is a beautiful chart. This is a pretty much what looks like a bottomed out chart. Now, Echelon Prime has a video game as well as this AI project called Project Wayfinder. So it kind of combines both AI and gaming with two literal use cases. You can get a second token for staking your Prime. It's It's a very cool project. The card auto battler strategy game, people love it. They also have more games coming. I think that this is a perfect fuse of gaming hype and AI hype. And the chart to me is, for lack of a better word, prime. Now, this next line item, I'm probably going to get skewered for, but the truth is that I am pretty deep into this. And I'm not going to talk a ton about it here, but it's AI memes. Now, one of the things you have to understand is that in crypto, you are trading technology for sure, but you're also trading attention. And that's why the prices that you see on the charts, those reflect attention, excitement, and belief. So as you start to get deeper into the market cycle, the attention becomes incredibly powerful and incredibly optimistic. That's the moment of the cycle that we're in right now. So you're seeing a lot of normal people. They're hearing about Bitcoin hitting 100,000. They're hearing about crypto being, the future, Trump embracing it. They're hearing about all these structural changes, the US National Bitcoin Reserve. You're hearing about the SEC flipping to pro crypto. You're hearing about all the use cases, the excitement, the technology. And this creates a wave of belief and optimism that creates a big amount of attention as well. So all of a sudden prices will start to fly up and all of a sudden things look very interesting. Well, what we know for sure is that the biggest gains of the cycle have happened in meme coins. And I believe that that will shift back to technology in the main part of the cycle. I've made that very clear, but that doesn't mean that I'm abandoning meme coins. In fact, I still hold some significant meme positions. And I told you guys this as early as Q3 of 2023, that I was accumulating things like Pepe and a few other coins that I believed were established memes that would sort of stay the test of time. And Pepe has gone on to do 40x gains since that play. And so while I believe that this cycle will see a massive return to utility and that utility is a far easier way to invest, I have also taken some positions in AI memes. And I'm not going to go into which ones. I'm not going to share any tickers. I'm not going to tell you about any specific coins because they're too experimental and low cap right now. And I just don't think it's right for this video, which will probably get hundreds of thousands of views and lots of newbie views. Memes are going crazy, but people don't actually think of them as technology, and there's nothing that separates them on a technological level. This guy, Him Gajira, is essentially the guy who's been pushing forward this concept of sentient memes, which are AI-driven memes, where instead of a meme like a frog or a dog and a bunch of people are sharing the meme, it's actually a sentient account, an AI account that's publishing content, and you're sort of following an AI as opposed to a bunch of people posting a static meme. So the thesis here is that sentient memes give rationality to everyone on the curve. A lot of people are saying, oh, the mid-curvers, people don't invest in memes because there's no tech, there's no value, and yet they still pump like crazy because a bunch of people want to bet on stuff. And so the thought here is that AI memes, because there is tech there, people are building these complex language models that are sort of the backstop of the mimetic value. It's an interesting way to sort of compare, okay, the good builders are building the interesting language models that are creating better sentient memes. So there is a technological component, and there's a lot of AI builders that have flooded in to take advantage of this. Now, will this be a lasting trend? I don't know. But look, this got so hot because Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz of Andreessen Horowitz, two of the most famous investors in Silicon Valley history, actually started this entire genre with something called Truth Terminal, which is an AI bot, which they gave money to, which then launched a meme coin, and they made a video out of it saying it went to $300 million. The meme coin in question is called GOAT. I don't hold any. I'm not telling you to get any. And I actually, in fact, am more bullish on other coins in the sector. But the point is, this thing went to a $1.2 billion market cap as a meme coin that started on Pump Fund, and it caused a flurry of attention. I believe that because AI and memes have dominated mindshare, the combination of AI and memes at a technical level, not just a meme sort of jokey level, but actually AI creating memes, is something that scratches the itch of people who need a little bit of tech there to invest. And it also plays into the insanity that is meme coins and meme coin trading. So that's why I've taken some positions in AI memes. I'm not going to cover them. I just don't think it's appropriate yet. Let me know in the comments if you want me to talk about my logic and how I'm approaching that sector, but it's just far too experimental now. I'm just saying this is something I believe will play a role in the future. Again, I have been able to find some things pretty early. I was early to the NFT wave in 2021. I was very early to the meme wave in 2023. And I believe that this AI meme thing makes sense to me. And I think it'll make sense to other people as well. Again, I'm not telling you any tickers or anything like that. I'm just saying this is something that is in my mind. And again, this is like super duper high risk, like gun to your head risk. Like any dollar you put into this could absolutely skyrocket or could most likely go to zero. There will be a graveyard of bodies in this particular sector. We have no idea what's going to happen. I just do think that there will be some standouts here. Anyway, I'm even feeling weird about putting this in the video, but it's just true. I want to share with you guys where my head's at about crypto, all things considered. And I think I do a good job of warning you about the risks involved because there are massive risks. But I also want you to know, hey, this is something that's happening. And I think that it might might be a big trend. Now, when it comes to actually buying tokens, if you decide you actually want to buy tokens on this list, I highly encourage you to use Photon. Now, that is linked in the description of this video and it's totally free. Now, check this out. Maybe you liked Neural. Maybe you think Neural is a good coin and you agree with my thesis on it being a gaming meets AI utility that has this great tokenomic structure. But look at this chart. It's at all-time highs. You don't want to buy stuff at all-time highs. If you can help it, you want to fight that FOMO and you want to buy stuff on the dip. Buy the dip. It's one of the core rules in the Bull Run Bible. So where are good areas to buy the dip? Well, jumping out at you right now is this area here. You can see that it touched this area a bunch of times. You have this horizontal level right here. You could see it touch this resistance here, here, and once it broke through, it really popped up here. It really went crazy once it broke through this sort of $5.60 level. So if you know anything about crypto and charts, you'll know that, this chart at one time will probably want to come back and retest this level. Now, if you're like me, you don't want to sit around and babysit that stuff. So what I like to do is I like to use this feature. That's the buy the dip feature. So you can use this chart right here on Photon and say, okay, well, how much percent discount is it to get from 870 down to 560? You can use this measuring tool and I'll tell you right there, 34%. So I can go ahead and say I want to buy the dip and I want to have the market cap drop by at least 30% here. And it'll give you a buy zone sort of right in this area here, which would be an ideal buy if you're hoping for it to sort of bounce back up here after that. Again, I love this because it automates my trades. One thing I'll say is that Photon is a hot wallet. So you're letting it automate these trades, but if you get any significant amount of value in there, you want to send it over to your hardware wallet so that it's more secure. But I absolutely love the tools they have. They have an insane amount of tools. You can even auto sell. So you can say, okay, I want to take profit once this coin goes up, 200%. I want to sell 50% of the asset, and you can go ahead and put this out and it'll essentially automate your trading for you so you can take the emotion out. And this is a great way to ensure that you stick to your targets. And if you make an amount of money that you would have thought is amazing, you don't get swept up in the emotion of the bull run. So definitely check out Photon when it comes to execution on your trades. It's also an insane thing for trading memes if you want to do that. Again, I'll talk a little bit about trading memes at the end of the video because I've been doing it a lot myself and I have a lot to say on the topic. But anyway, that's the tool I use when I want to execute on trades, and I think it's an absolute cheat code. Next, we're getting into gaming. And honestly, Immutable X has been something we haven't talked about a lot on the channel because gaming has been in a little bit of a drought, and Immutable is the biggest token, so it needs a lot more attention and liquidity to move. But the last week, it's actually picked up dramatically. Immutable X also got sued by the SEC, which now with the change in leadership is going to be a non-issue. And so that hurt their price a little bit. But as I've said, I was a seed investor in Immutable X. I've been holding this coin for 3 years, maybe a little bit longer. And I believe that whenever gaming season hits, Immutable will be one of the main beneficiaries of this trend. They have the most games signed of any blockchain. And I think that people are just discounting the value of what those network effects could do for a project like Immutable X later on in the cycle. If you look here, I mean, it hit about $10 it hit about $10 last cycle. We can see that it hit almost $4 earlier this cycle, and it's down here at $1.70. It was as low as a dollar just this month. Crazy. That was some of the SEC FUD. We can see here, I mean, the chart is pretty bottomed out, right? If it gets back to its prior high of $10, you're looking at about a 7x and 8x there. So really, really phenomenal upside, even if you just reclaim the prior highs. Again, this is the category leader. It's the biggest coin in the gaming category. And that's why as we're seeing a shift more to big normie coins or older coins that were big in 2021, this could fit that bill in one of my favorite categories, which is gaming. Next, we have Superverse, aka Super, which is a project that I co-founded and I have been working on for well over 4 years. Super is the vast majority of what I focus on the planet here on Earth, and it's something that I believe in totally. Now, Super essentially is a single token that is integrated into a ton of leading Web3 games. One of the biggest drawbacks of crypto gaming investing that I realized over the last cycle was that people didn't know how to choose the specific game that they thought would be the big winner. Of course, if you pick the big winner, you're going to win big. But a lot of people found out that game development's really hard, and it's very hard to predict which games are going to be successful. So Super solves this problem by being integrated into literally every possible game, almost all major Web3 games, and it's constantly announcing new ones. We can see that just last week there was Uncaged, which has partnerships with Puma and Meta. Yeah, that's right, Facebook Meta. We have Metacade, which just integrated the Super token. There's also Zverse, which is a new MMO Monster Tamer RPG. Again, all of this is a protocol level integration. And of course, there's Ton Station. TonStation is a new game store on the Telegram blockchain, which now has over 20 million users that is connected with it, and it's part of the Superverse, and it's built to funnel users from Telegram, which is one of the biggest consumer apps in crypto, to the rest of the crypto gaming space. Now, I will mention that there's an airdrop happening for the TonStation users, and they're going to be airdropped a Soon token. We'll talk about that in a second, but just know Superverse is essentially one of my highest conviction plays because I actually know exactly what's going on with the team because I work directly with them. I co-founded the project, and that's kind of the X factor in a lot of these is I don't know who the team are, what they're doing, or how they're taking care of the community, but I do know that with Superverse, and everything about this project is designed to be community friendly, and that's why it's been the standout best performer in the gaming space this entire cycle. And 2025 is going to be a year full of excitement for super holders. In my opinion, you definitely want to be on the Superverse train. It is going to touch everything in crypto gaming. Now, finally, there's Beam. Now, Beam, as I understand it, has some pretty massive changes coming to it. We're going to be covering it a little bit more as we get in there. This is a mid cap, and this is again part of the gaming narrative. Sort of three horsemen of the gaming apocalypse here are Immutable, Super, and Beam. If you want simple, effective allocation to the narrative, those are the simple ones. Now, late 2023 and early 2024, we saw explosive action in the crypto gaming space. But we also saw some really, really bad tokenomics where projects were listing on Binance at multi-billion fully diluted valuations with just a small amount of tokens circulating. And as those tokens came into market, the price plummeted and everyone got completely skewered. Everyone who bought those tokens got screwed. And that became a systemic problem in the crypto gaming niche. It's definitely a problem with altcoins in general. The crypto games were pretty slow to adopt more fair community-centered tokenomics. It's one of the reasons why Super has been so successful this cycle is that the investor unlocks happened all last cycle and there's no investors constantly getting new tokens and selling. Now, I want to highlight a project that I am advising and that just launched, and they did a full community-friendly DEX launch. And this project is called Super Champs. And as you can see, it is a total brand new baby of a coin, and it launched at a humble $17 million market cap, and it's trading right now at $14 million. And this is because I was able to talk with this founder and convince them, don't go the exchange route. Don't go this crazy route where they're trying to push your coin up too much in value on day one. I convinced him that if you have a high quality product and a high quality output, you essentially want the community to get dirt cheap coins. And so they went forward with a full community launch. Super Champs for a big period of 2024 was the most interacted with smart contract on the base blockchain. The team behind this project has built over 20 top grossing mobile games, and their current games that relate to this project have over 5 million users. And you can see here that it's not just a game. They've built this whole builder tool ecosystem where anyone can spin up a new video game, a new mobile game with their IP in a fraction of the time. So they've essentially allowed for this to be a go-to-market tool where game developers can spin up new games, new mobile games very, very fast. I think it's a very cool ecosystem built by true seasoned gaming talent. And I do think that this could be one of the standouts here. Now, I want to be clear here. At 14 million, this is one of the lowest market cap coins that we have covered this entire cycle. And it is a very high risk token. If you're looking for gems and a team that has decided to throw themselves on the chopping block here and do a community launch so the community can actually get tokens at a fair value, at a cheap value, and a team that prioritizes the community over the VCs, this is what you're seeing with Super Champs. And this is why I think what they're doing is worth your attention. This is exactly what I've been hoping for out of crypto gaming, because we're finally seeing great games. We're finally seeing the products come along. We're seeing the fun, but now we need to see the tokenomics so that they're super community friendly. And again, they are also a partner of Superverse. I'm a big fan of what they're doing. Again, we can't guarantee outcomes. Nobody knows what the future holds, but at this early stage in the bull run, this kind of community launch is exactly what you want to see out of high quality projects in the right narratives. We saw community launch AI coins like Destra ripping up. This is at 360 million. So my hope is that when gaming season fully rolls around, these community launch coins that have the same friendly tokenomics that you're seeing out in the meme coin sector, well, those will rip and do many X's once we get some love in gaming. So not only am I bullish Super Champs, I'm a holder, I'm an advisor. I know the team, they're high quality, but at the same time, I hope this is a model that other teams can follow and start to get inspiration as to how to be super community friendly, because that's been the missing piece in gaming. And I commend Champs for putting themselves out there and trying to do a community launch. Shout out to them, and other gaming teams, take note. Hopefully this can become a success story that can convince other teams to give more value to the community at the start, which, let's be honest, that's the point of crypto. The community should get the best prices. The community is the early adopter. adopters, and they deserve the most upside. Now, finally, we have TonStation doing an airdrop of Soon token, which is a meme token that has utility in their game store. Again, this is part of the Superverse. This is an application on Telegram that the Superverse has helped co-launch here and has over 20 million signups with millions of wallets connected. The farming for season 2 of TonStation is going to begin soon, and this, I believe, would be a gem on the Telegram ecosystem. It hasn't launched yet. I want to be clear, with any new launches of any tokens, you want to not die on the launch pad. So even something that's part of the Superverse ecosystem, I'm going to tell you, wait for these things to settle out. Wait for a few days, even a week or two, for everyone who gets airdrops to sell if they want to sell, and wait for those low prices to be created. And then hopefully we can see Soon make a run up and become one of the best meme/gaming tokens on Telegram. I think Telegram gaming is one of the most important parts of the crypto ecosystem for the next cycle, as there are tens of millions of users that are playing mobile games inside of Telegram, that have wallets enabled inside of Telegram on the Ton blockchain. I think Ton gaming is a massive play. And as you can see here, over the last period, TonStation actually topped the Ton app game section. So it is one of the leaders in this Telegram gaming narrative. Again, the Soon token will be coming soon. I'll announce some stuff as to how it pertains to super holders, but also if you're planning on buying this on the secondary, I would wait till the market kind of resolves a little bit, till we get some lows, and hopefully Soon can become an absolutely hit meme/gaming token on Telegram. I'm rooting for it. All right, I'm just going to go through these quickly because this video is now incredibly long. We have the meme section. Again, Doge is the category leader. I believe Doge will have another massive run this cycle because Elon is literally making an entire department of government around the Doge meme. Doge mania, I believe, will strike again. You saw that already with it spiking up to over 40 cents over the last few weeks. And once it breaks all-time highs, my theory is that all the people in 2021 that bought Doge are going to get wildly back into crypto again. In many ways, I see Doge as the potential catalyst for this bull run. Also, Pepe is a major coin. I've been very bullish about Pepe being the Shiba Inu of this cycle. And people who know me know that I've been talking about MOG as a sort of beta here to Pepe, a beta to ETH for a much more risky, but also a high quality, long lasting meme that's been around now for about a year and change, well over a year. And it's had a lot of big pumps and drawbacks. I believe that whenever meme coin season hits, Doge and Pepe are pretty safe, but MOG would be if you want more risk in the meme coins. That's how you would get it. Now in NFTs, I also have Neo Tokyo and Imposters. Neo Tokyo with gaming season is already starting to catch a lot of interest. In my opinion, it is the NFT to hold if you want to be a part of a gaming community. This is the type of thing that as gaming season hits, will start to heat up dramatically. Again, I am a co-founder of Neo Tokyo and Superverse, and part of Superverse is also Imposters, which again, the Imposters game is currently in development and will be having massive updates in Q1 of next year. So these two NFTs, again, NFTs have been the ugly stepchild this cycle, but I believe as the wealth effect starts to kick in from this bull run a little later on, maybe in Q1 or Q2 of next year, we'll start to see NFTs pick up dramatically again. So no rush, but again, for NFTs, these are the projects that we're still working on here and we believe in tremendously. Now, finally, unreleased projects, layer 1, we have Monad and Barachain. Again, these are big ones that I could see being huge, but they're just not relevant because they're not out yet. Now, this one I expect to be kind of controversial because I actually have spent the last few months kind of obsessively interested with learning to trade the crazy new stuff that's out there. Now, again, this video is focused on investments or investment type actions where you can buy and hold stuff for months or even years and wait for the thesis to play out. It's not a quick flip. It's not a quick action type channel. I like to make content that I forecast my actions completely. But I constantly get asked about meme coins and I see a lot of people getting their butts handed to them, just an astronomical amount of money in memes. And so I went about trying to find a strategy that I thought could actually make money in memes. And I did. I spent the last about 6 months trying different strategies. I found a strategy that doesn't require any insider knowledge, it doesn't require any quick actions, and it doesn't require as much luck as I saw out there. And so I made a video documenting a few trades that I made, showing all my logic, showing how I just picked random coins, assessed them. I documented that day, several days later, and finally like a week or two later to show how those trades had played out. And what was crazy is the system worked. Again, that video isn't about showing specific coins. I'm really here to emphasize I'm not here to push specific new meme coins. I'm only showing things like Doge and Pepe that have been around and are super established, multi-billion-dollar market caps, MOG well over $1 billion market cap. These are much more established memes, but I see everyone getting wrecked on the new stuff. And I wanted to challenge myself to see if I could figure out a way to trade some of this stuff, again, with a tiny percent of the portfolio, very tiny, but so I could add more and more coins to the things that I think are going to perform insanely well throughout the cycle. The things on this list that I just wish I had more of, the Solanas, the Superverses, the Taos, etc. Let me know in the comments if you guys are excited for that one. I don't talk about specific coins, but I show myself analyzing coins, showing how they play out. And again, I think that it's going to be very valuable for people because I know everyone wants to trade this stuff. And I think that this mental model will help them. Let me know in the comment section if you guys are excited for that, because I think it's one of my best videos yet, but it's a little on the edge here. So I hope you guys are excited for that. Again, I'm always just trying to make content that I think is right for the audience, that I think helps the audience. And if you guys appreciate that, smash that like button. And if you guys got value out of this one, make sure to share it around with your friends. I hope if you guys are riding on any of these coins that we win together. Again, please know your risks. Know if you buy into coins, what you're expecting to get out of them, your exit plan. Make sure you have one. Watch my videos on that if you haven't. And I'll see you very soon on the next episode.